victim and a massive defeat for Twitter, a trial court at the federal level just held in a ruling on the motion that the court will allow one of the claims in the lawsuit against Twitter to go forward. All right, so what am I saying? A lot. This is a big case. This is a big case against Twitter, and it is a devastating loss in court against Twitter. So I'll explain what happened. It's actually pretty horrific. It's pretty hard to overstate how horrific it was, and it was probably about the worst set of facts that you could have ever had. So I'll explain the law, how the law was applied, and the little quirk of the law. So as we know, under Section 230, as everyone calls it, internet service providers are not responsible legally for third-party content. So that means that if I go onto Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, say something about you that you believe is untrue, then you may not sue Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. You may only sue the person who said it, right? That's Section 230. That's Section 230. So what happened is, hold on, let me get this out. Big update in a lawsuit. A Jane, a John, a Doe victim brought against Twitter. Okay. So under Section 230, Twitter is not responsible for third-party content. Pretty well established. That's true also of illegal images, right? It's also true of illegal images that might have been posted. So this case, though, was brought under a provision in the law that was designed to protect sex trafficking victims. And the facts of this are about as bad as you can imagine. And I'll tell you why they're so bad. An underage victim was abused on video, and this video would be posted to social media outlets. It would be posted to Twitter. The victim emailed Twitter, or rather the victim's lawyer representative emailed Twitter after the victim got nowhere and said, "Hey, there's a video of me being abused. Can you delete this content?" And whoever was working at Twitter said, "Well, we'll look into it." They did nothing. And then they said, "Well, prove that you're the person in the video. Prove that you were underage when the video was posted." Then the Department of Homeland Security emailed Twitter and said, "Hey, take this down. This is a crime. You're actually committing a crime. You cannot make this up. You can actually not make this up." So the victim emailed Twitter and said, "Hey, will you take this video down?" Twitter said, "You have to verify your ID. You have to verify who you are." So then the victim, Jane Doe, went to the Department of Homeland Security, and then Twitter took it down. So the timeline is all alleged in the court, right? So on January 20th, 2020, Twitter sent John Doe an email that read, "We reviewed the content, didn't find a violation of the policies. It was abuse material from an underage victim." So then finally, the Department of Homeland Security, and again, this is all on court records, this is not a conspiracy theory, the Department of Homeland Security got in touch with Twitter and said, "Hey, you got to take this down, man. This is criminal stuff. What are you doing?" Twitter, they got time to take it down, right? Well, the judge said, under the law, that was a failure. Under a law, that made Twitter complicit. So I will read the exact wording of the ruling because, again, this is devastating. So I want to make sure I get everything right. Here's a direct readout from the ruling. The court finds that these allegations, the ones that I just mentioned, are sufficient to allege an ongoing pattern of conduct amounting to a tacit agreement with the perpetrators, in this case to allow them to post videos and photographs it knew or should have known were related to sex trafficking without blocking their accounts or videos. Again, let me read this to you again because this is from a court record. This is not Mike Cernovich. with an axe to grind about Twitter and its censorship of conservatives. This is a federal judge. The court finds that these allegations are sufficient to allege an ongoing pattern of conduct amounting to a tacit agreement with the perpetrators in this case. Now, if you're a lawyer, you'll say, well, the court didn't find Twitter's guilty. Of course not, but that's not how lawsuits work, right? At this point in the legal proceedings, it isn't about whatever. It's not a trial where there's a finding of fact. It's just a judge saying, I've read everything, and based on what I've read, this can go forward. This can go into discovery. So now what is going to happen to Twitter? Well, Twitter's now, it's going to go to discovery, people. So Twitter now has to answer some questions under oath. Twitter's going to have to answer under oath. So why is it that you're able to censor conservatives and disinformation, because anything that contradicts the narrative is disinformation? What resources were you using to fight child sex trafficking content on your website? Again, this is not Mike Cernovich crying to the world because I feel unfairly censored or I have to guard everything I say or if I word one thing wrong. This is the trial court. This is the judge, right? It isn't at trial. He's a judge at the trial level. So that's why you would technically say district court level, but if you're a lawyer, you'll also say, well, trial court level, but we'll just call it district court level because, again, I have to make sure everything is right on this or else I'll get censored, right? So I know that by reporting on a truthful lawsuit that was filed and by truthfully recounting what a judge found in a lawsuit, I'm a bigger target than the people who were trafficking people, right? I have more to fear from big tech than actual perpetrators of violence against children and underage people. That's the world we live in, right? That's the world we live in. So Twitter now, they're going to have to explain that. They're probably going to try to file what's called an interlocutory appeal, and they're going to continue fighting this. That's for sure. But as of right now, they're going to have to go under oath and explain why is it that you did not do what you were supposed to do here, right? Why is it that you have unlimited resources to target disinformation by conservatives, but videos like these are falling through the cracks? It's Twitter, and I read all their legal pleadings. Twitter goes, we devote all these resources to fighting this stuff. Okay, well let's just look at that. Let's just see if that's true. Twitter has a new tool. And by the way, have any of you read media coverage of this in the New York Times, NBC? They're always talking about, social media. There's so much bad information on social media. Are any of these reporters who claim to really care about what's on the internet, are they reporting on this? No, they're not. Even though, again, it's a legal proceeding, public court records. I didn't have to do anything magical to get these records. They're public. No, they're quiet. So Twitter's introducing a new tool that allows blue checks, on the left, of course, we know how this is going to work, to flag disinformation. Well, why aren't there tools to allow victims to flag abuse content? Right? Well, that's not me asking. That's going to be a lawyer for a victim asking Twitter that under oath, unless Twitter settles this lawsuit for a lot of money, which they should. They should have settled this lawsuit from day one, before it went public, but they were the hubris, right? The hubris and the lack of an understanding of optics, right? The hubris of this all, not realizing Twitter, you had to be told by the Department of Homeland Security to take a video down, right? You refused to take a video down. The Department of Homeland Security told you to take it down, which means you would be indicted for crimes if you don't do it. Then you take it down, and the hubris is, well, hopefully the media doesn't cover this. Hopefully it falls under the cracks. Hopefully just nobody talks about this. The hubris. They should have, right when those emails, because the emails are there, I posted them before and I retweeted them to the top of the timeline. The victim repeatedly reached out to Twitter. Repeatedly, please take this down, please. Twitter didn't. And then the emails, they go, we don't find that this is we don't find this content violates our policies, right? Okay. That's what you call like an oh shit moment in life, where you're like, oh God, somebody made a big mistake. What do we have to do here? And you settle the case. But the hubris was, we'll just rely on Section 230. We'll cry to the court. Oh, we just can't find it. We can't find it all. Oh, but by the way, here's some tools to help left-wing communists flag conservatives and get conservatives banned. We can't create those tools. Oh, we're too busy. We're too busy banning conservatives and creating new tools to appease far left-wing people who won't report on this, so then you can infer what you will, that the disinfo bee and the people who really care about content on the internet and how the internet's a dangerous place, they're not reporting on this. So you can infer what you will from their silence. Isn't it silence is consent? Well, they're being silent. Now, they all read me because they follow we know that. They follow everything I type, hoping I'll say a bad word. Hoping I'll drink a little too much wine, get a little saucy, say something bad, they can screen cap it and say, Mike Cernovich tweeted a bad word, a bad joke. So they follow me meticulously. I've been in rooms where I'll tweet and you can hear the notifications going off. You know that at least 300 reporters have notifications set for my tweets? At least. It might be 1,000. Because I've been in the room and I was like, beep. I sound like I heard a bingo off by somebody next to me. I was like, what's going on? Then I looked over their phone and it said, Mike Cernovich tweeted. They got that notification. I was like, I wonder. So I started tweeting rapid fire and phones were like, boop, 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 boop. So they're all reading this. They're watching this video right now, waiting to see if I say something bad. And then they'll go, oh, he didn't say anything bad. We can't cancel him over. We'll just pretend. We'll just pretend that this lawsuit never happened. We'll just pretend. Oh, but we really care about the internet. You know, the internet needs to be cleaned up. It's so bad. So this lawsuit is a bad one. So what do I predict? Well, Twitter, you know, the magistrate judge heard it. So the parties consented to letting a magistrate judge hear it, but that's still district court. Somebody, if you're a lawyer, you'll say, Mike, it was a magistrate judge. Cernovich doesn't even know the difference between a district court, but you can consent to having a magistrate judge do all sorts of things. So nice try, people. So when people do try to nitpick it, I even know what they're going to nitpick before they nitpick it. Right? That's how scrutinized I am. I already know as I'm doing this, I go, well, I said it's a district court level, district court judge, but it's actually a magistrate judge. So I know they'll try to twist that. Right? Because I already know, like, but that's what they do. But then they won't report on what actually happened. They'll pretend like, oh, we didn't see this. La, 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 la. A lawsuit against Twitter. Underage victim. La, la, la. Nobody talk about this. La, 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 la. Oh, by the way, conservatives are being really mean on social media. Twitter, thank you for that tool that's going to allow us to flag disinformation from Candace Owens. You know, she's a real threat to the internet. Thank you, Twitter. La, la, la. Oh, sex trafficking victims, no tools for them. La, 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 la. That's the media. That's the corporate media. That's the disinformation community. They're the lowest of the low because they won't report on this. And again, you can infer what you will from that because I know what I think about these people. I know what I think about these people, and you know what I think about these people too. Because all you have to do is look at their silence on a major lawsuit against Twitter. A major exception is carved out to Section 230. This is a blockbuster legal development. Meanwhile, la la la, no, we don't know, but please help us ban Candace Owens. Let's, get some more tools to flag disinformation. That's all these blue check people are doing. Again, we all know why. Right? We all know why. Anyhow, hopefully Tucker covers it. If he doesn't cover it, nobody's going to cover it. I'm like, as big as this case is, as huge as this lawsuit is, if Tucker doesn't cover it, it's not going to really go anywhere, unfortunately. That's where we are in this world. It's not for me or Tucker, and he's, much bigger than me, so I'm not even saying that I'm Tucker. I'm just saying that there's 2, 3, 4 people going to talk about this stuff. Unbelievable. Anyway, if you're watching this anywhere other than Rockfin, go to rockfin.com, ROKFIN.com. Subscribe to my channel. You can sign up for free. And if you like me or like my content, I hate calling it content, but if you like my reports, if you believe that this is edifying your life in any way and helping you understand the world and navigate this dishonest, demonic world, then subscribe. Become an annual subscriber. If you're not in a financial position to subscribe, hey man, no problemo. But if you are and you don't, I'll just say that that's interesting. How many rich people read me and then want me to cover stuff, but they can't afford $99 a year. I subscribe to other people, so this isn't me, I walk the walk. Anyway, rockfin.com, rokfin.com/Cernovich. Sign up for free. If you can afford it, subscribe.